okay now, thanks.
Barry, for heaven's sakes, how did you get up here?
I'm okay. Slightly breathless, but otherwise fine. Hello. Go back inside and close the door.
What?
Pretend you're opening it for the first time. For you, with my thanks. You're a generous woman. I hope it didn't break you.
Oh, I'm beginning to understand now. But under the circumstances... Oh, what are we doing freezing out here? Come on in.
Okay, briefly.
Okay.
Promised my nurse I'd go straight home to bed the minute they let me loose. But when I saw the hospital bill and everything my insurance didn't cover, and those big red letters, paid in full, I had to come here and thank you.
Well, considering I'm the person who put you there in the first place.
All the same.
Okay. I did something for both of us. Now you do something for me and sit down. You are so pale, you're gonna bring on an anxiety attack.
Well, I am a little shaky being out in the world again, but I love it. I had a long talk with my taxi cab driver. We both agreed the hospital was a great place to go and get sick. The air is different outside, life instead of... That place really did feel like death.
Yeah, I know.
I almost went by Ken's room, but how stupid can you get? So I picked up my discharge papers and came here.
Well, I'm glad. Here, put your foot up.
Uh-huh. Once a doctor, always a doctor,
Yep.
eh? Thank you.
Well, your color's better, at least.
I figured. Your anxiety's better.
Yeah? Oh, excuse me.
Sure.
Hello? Wait, slow down. I can't understand a word you're saying.
I'll explain it all when I see you. Maeve asked me to go to the store for her. I have to do that first, but then I'll be right over. Meanwhile, don't leave your house. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, Delia, wait, Guess who's about to descend on us?
Delia.
Yeah, so will you stay and help me get through whatever it is I think I have to get through?
Sure, absolutely. As long as there's any glimmer of hope.
I know.
Faith, can you tell me what's happened with Jillian and the lawyer you and Roger found?
We didn't find him. His name's Claudius Church, and he approached Jill on his own. Remember that.
Right,
If
sorry.
Yeah, well, if she ever finds out that we had anything to do with it, I know she'll fire him on the spot.
Well, then she has hired him.
Yeah, which is a great relief, if they can work together. Because she won't plead temporary insanity, and she insists no one else can be accused. And she said she did not give Kid the injection. I asked her point blank. So maybe she is innocent.
I believe she is. I believe that helping Ken to die was an act of friendship, not murder.
I wish you wrote the laws. Well, we'll just have to see what Church can do.
Good afternoon, Jillian. Now we get down to business,
Reading, I've just scratched the surface, really, but fortunately, I laid my hands on some material. It's several years old, but it's still relevant. I used it on a case of mine that you may have heard of.
The Bolak mercy killing.
Yes. I got a partial acquittal, token imprisonment. What's wrong?
Oh, nothing really. I was just reflecting on an old truism that a lawyer's most difficult client is another lawyer.
Well, my intention was just to try and help.
Yes, well, that's only natural. Your talent, your personality, your training all dispose you to give help. But your task with me is to receive help, and that's not always so easy to do, is it?
Well, I've hired you, haven't I?
Have you?
Mr. Church, I would appreciate it if you didn't use the Socratic method to make your points. Don't ask me to read your mind. Just tell me what you have to say directly.
All right. There are several points. One is I would like you to call me Claudius. Another is that I am conducting your defense. I provide the legal service, and you are my very intelligent client, but you're not my associate. I make the decisions, and I call the shots. Now, that's a situation you may not always enjoy, but it's one you accept when you retain me. It's called trust.
You're saying you don't want to share your strategy with me?
No, I'm not saying that at all. We have to talk, and in certain key areas, we'll have to pool our resources. I'm counting on that.
Key areas such as?
Publicity, for one. I have connections in the media. I understand you do, too. Personal ones, I believe. Well, we need them. We're going to have to use them to the fullest extent possible.
What exactly do you mean?
Ah, hello there, Jack. I was just writing about you. You don't write about people. I write about people. What, are you going to give me competition? Oh, definitely. I've just written this brilliant letter to my sister, Annie. All about me? No, not all about you, but you're one of the happier topics around here, so I did go on about you. I managed to say one sentence about Frances. Annie meet Jill while she was over? Oh, yes. They got along famously. I'm afraid I did not say one word about Jillian. Yeah, maybe you can let me do that for you. If you're in no hurry to mail that, you could wait and include my my Sunday column. Oh, she agreed to talk to you? I'm gonna ask. At any rate, I have to write something. Did you tell Annie all about Halloween? Ah, a glowing report. I even told her what a lovely time I had with Rose while the rest of you are out trudging through the rain. Rose likes you. I like Rose. She has a problem with Mary about taking her place. I've told her 1,000,000 times that she's way out in left field. Yes, I'm afraid I said pretty much the same thing to her myself. You did? Well, I didn't do it just like that. Didn't hit her over the head with it, but she gave me several openings, and I finally took her up on one. Yeah, sometimes I think Rose needs to be hit over the head. How are you two getting on? Wonderful, some ways. Other ways, she's a detective, right? I mean, she spent a whole year sailing around the world in a fairly small boat. She likes taking chances. Mm-hmm. You put her in a room with a nice guy and a great kid, and she panics. Well, do you have any insight as to why? Yeah, well, sure I know why. She's terrified of the personal stuff. Well, considering her background, that's not unreasonable. But, well, Ryan and I, we don't want to tie her down. She's a friend. She's very fond of Ryan, even though she doesn't go overboard. But you can see the fondness. Yeah, well, how can she help it? I mean, Ryan smiles and melts your heart. I mean, she's got to be crazy about her in some way. But she's so scared that Ryan is going to invest in her as a mother. So she keeps distance between them. Well, you discuss that with her? I keep telling her kids don't bite. I mean, they don't expect you to be perfect. They don't expect you to be the Rock of Gibraltar. I mean, loving them is not a demand. It's easy. It's automatic. So, how come she doesn't understand? It seems to me we had someone else around here that had a hard time accepting that truth. Do you remember that? Maeve, I was never that bad. Oh, my. That's my mistake. Sorry. All right. Okay. Let me off the hook. We're talking about Rose now. What do you think I should do? Oh, I've got no idea. Yeah, well, you have an opinion. I'm asking for it. You are being explicitly invited to tell me what you think. Well, invitations like that are few and far between. Maybe it's the first time in my life. I'll say my little piece. I would listen to the girl, Jack. Really try to hear what she's telling you. She knows herself well. I mean, she's a friend of yours. Well, good. All well and good. Very clear, close friend. But if you have something in the back of your head beyond that, well, I would watch out for myself and for Ryan. I wouldn't count on her changing. I mean, surely she may be right. You know, the child may be looking to have a mother. She had a mother. She had Mary. She remembers. All I'm saying is, the girl is entitled to make choices that suit her and not you. I'm in full agreement. Well, that is my opinion. Right. I appreciate it. Really.
Oh, I don't even want to know. It's good enough for cats, Lena.
Hi, you're still okay?
Apparently.
Good. It's so hard to tell about the timing. Hey, do those cats still hang around on the stoop?
No, fortunately, the lady moved next door and they moved with her.
Oh, well, it'll rain or something.
Right.
Hi.
What are you doing here? Oh, when'd you get out?
About an hour ago. How are you?
Okay. No, I'm not, actually. I'm worried about Faith. I was ironing this morning, and one of those awful feelings came over me. It's another premonition.
Did you say you were ironing?
What sort of premonition?
The kind you take seriously or something awful happens to you. Again.
Well, Delia, sit down and tell me.
It's a bad one, as opposed to a good one on Halloween. That was about Frank coming into some money, which he did. Anyway, there's a sense of something wet, water, rain, and it's associated with violence, so possibly it's a violent storm of some kind, and you are in it.
You sure it's me?
It's someone from this house, leaving this room carrying something. A suitcase? I'm not sure. But in the other place, it's definitely you. I can almost see your face.
What other place?
Not foreign exactly, but it's different. It's warm. It's not New York. It's not exactly tropical. You're with somebody.
How about New Orleans, exactly?
Well, possibly. I've never been there.
Well, it's warm and they do have violent storms sometimes.
And people do get invited to go there sometimes.
I don't understand.
I'm just muttering. So tell me more, Delia. Do I get killed in this wet, fierce thing?
I can't see that. See, even when you're psychic, you protect yourself from the worst images. I read that. I've done a little research since this all started happening.
Why'd you think of New Orleans?
Oh, I just happened to be going to New Orleans.
No kidding.
No kidding. So how'd you know, Delia?
I didn't. You just said it.
Yes, but you said something about me going away from New York carrying a suitcase?
Well, who cares? Maybe it's the garbage you're carrying. I'm trying to tell you, I can't tell details. I just know that if you leave this house, something terrible's going to happen.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're not taking me seriously. Faith? How can you doubt me? You were right there when I told Frank if he stayed put, he was going to come into some money. And he stayed put, and he got $10,000 and a trip to New Orleans. If you take this warning seriously, you might save your life.
Delia, how did you know?
Know what, about Frank?
Mm-hmm.
I had a premonition. And then the man came, and he offered him a $10,000.
And the next day, Frank invited me to spend the weekend with him in New Orleans. And as I recall, you had just left the room when he asked me.
What are you saying? Are you suggesting
easy,
that
easy. Just talk slow and explain.
I have explained, and I've got nothing but insults. I ought to walk out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want your death on my conscience. So I'm just going to stay right here till I make you believe.
Ken George Jones was a public figure. The person accused of killing him will be a public figure.
Not if I decide
Inevitably, whether she likes it or not. Are we agreed thus far?
I agree that the press is ready to pounce, but I don't have to play into that. I know how to maintain a low profile.
Yes, I'm sure you're an expert. I would also like to say that I am terribly pleased you've given up the idea of representing yourself. You're an exceptional woman. You don't belong in jail. And that's exactly where you would have ended up with your low profile.
So what kind of media coverage are we talking about?
All kinds. All good. Sympathetic, understanding, you know, the kind of coverage that will drown all those stories in Mrs. Wood's nasty little rag.
You know, I think you should know that Jack Finelli was not responsible for that last article. Things were changed and added, and he was furious. He came by the other night. He apologized at length.
And did you take advantage of that stunning opportunity?
Jack is a good friend. What do you mean?
Did you give him something warm and loving to tell the world? Oh, you didn't even refer to your situation.
No, I wouldn't talk about it on or off the record. You telling me that you would advise me to give the details of the case to the press?
My dear woman.
No, I will not be tried by the papers. I won't be found guilty or acquitted outside a proper court of law.
Then I offer this for your consideration. If you are not acquitted in the papers, you don't stand a chance in the courts. That's the gospel according to Claudia's church. Believe it.
It offends me, and Ken would have hated it.
No, I think you're quite wrong there. Ken was a performer who used the media with enormous success. Now, I'm sure he would have told you to do the same.
No. There's no parallel. I am not a performer. It's extremely different.
You need the public's love.
Ken was sharing his music with millions of people. I would be sharing his death.
Yes. And your pain, and your grief, and your innocence. Jillian, I have had one conviction out of 57 murder cases. I've been getting acquittals for 20 years, and I can virtually guarantee yours because I know what I'm doing. That's why my fee is $200,000, and that's why you must put yourself in my hands. Now, I give you complete commitment, and I expect complete commitment from you in return. It's either that or don't waste your time with me. Look, there's not a trace of hard feelings. It's been a privilege.
I'm in your hands.
All right. I want you to tell me your version of what happened. All the details.
This is not my version of how Ken died. It's the way it was.
Fine.
Who else is going to hear the tape?
Only the transcriber, my secretary. I've trusted Finney with some of the world's darkest secrets, and they're safe with her.
Next, secrets are revealed on Ryan's Hope. Then Lisa and Tide chat with the stars on SoapNet's original Soap Talk, followed by Melrose Place.
Have you noticed, sir, the halo that's around my head?
I don't want to be answerable to anybody else on the face of this earth.
Ryan's Hope, next on SoapNet. Weeknights on SoapNet.
It just seems that Carly and I were gonna end up in each other's arms.
A fiancé betrayed.
The wedding's off.
For lovers, a heart opens.
I love you. I thought you should know.
You are amazing.
And for the greatest love of all,
If she remembers that she killed Rick,
the event most feared
we could lose her forever.
happens.
I remember.
Watch General Hospital weeknights at 10 on SoapNet.
Today I was framed for a murder I didn't commit. Hunted down by people I don't even know. Forced to watch the woman I love die. I am living today over again. I don't know how, I don't know why, but before this day is over, I'll do anything, anything. I love you. To save her.
Daybreak, 2-hour series premiere, Wednesday at 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Create possibilities with the new Crayola cutter. It cuts paper safely where scissors can't reach and creates fun scissors can't match. The new Crayola cutter. Look for it in the Crayola aisle.
Are you one of the millions of Americans having trouble sleeping, waking up tired, struggling through the day?
A trusted team of medical doctors has a drug-free way to end sleepless nights. New Sleep MD. Start falling asleep in just minutes and sleep better and longer with exclusive nano-diffuse and time-release technologies. With Sleep MD, you wake up incredibly rested and refreshed. We're the MDs in New Sleep MD, the sleep solution millions have been waiting for.
Get yours today at sleepmdhealth.com, Walgreens, GNC, and fine retailers everywhere.
It's my impression, as of late, my death would leave a very small void in your life. So tiny as to be virtually invisible.
That's great. Isn't that a nice thing to say to me?
Well, look, don't pull me into this. I'm neutral territory.
I thought you believed me.
I know you have a special ability to pick up vibrations, signals. I know that's what happened with the accident. But you said yourself, it's a vague thing. What can Faith do? Stay at home being safe 24 hours a day?
She wouldn't have to do it forever.
But I should just stay away from different warm places.
Wait a second. New York's not wonderful, but it's not upsetting either. Possibly because we're not due for any hurricanes.
Oh, I see. So I should just cancel my trip altogether.
That would certainly be a step in the right direction.
I'm going.
And that would be a death wish.
Well, I think that's where we differ.
It would also be very irresponsible with your sister in so much trouble for you to run off just when she needs you the most.
And Delia, who do you need the most these days?
That's obvious. May, Johnny, Little John, my family.
Now, there's a couple of things I want to say to you.
No, wait. Listen, if you're determined to go off with Frank and destroy yourself, I suppose that's what you'll do. I've warned you. Haven't I warned her?
Repeatedly. Listen, friends, I think I'm gonna start slowly on my way.
No, Barry, don't. Stay and have lunch with me.
Better not. I got 6 flights to climb at my place, and I want to get up there before dark.
Notice she didn't ask me for lunch, but then what have I done for her lately besides try to save her life?
Delia, come visit me sometime.
Well, I'm pretty busy with the Crystal Palace, but, maybe, yeah.
Come on, I'll help you.
Thank you.
I know this isn't easy.
Could you get me another bag for this?
You just hold on, because there's a couple things I want to say. Like, I want to give you my own weather report. You know, the hurricane season is long past in Louisiana. There are no violent storms or hurricanes in or around New Orleans this week or next. In fact, it's supposed to be mild and sunny. But just to give your premonition its due worth, I'll take baths instead of showers, okay?
One day, very soon, you're going to have to cry when you think of the things you said to me and the terrible way you've treated me.
All right, Delia, you have given your psychic powers number. And I want to explain a few things about tricks and common sense.
Goodbye, all.
Barry, wait, I want to help you.
No. I'm good if you just lock up after me.
No, you aren't. I want to say a couple of things to you. Now, I believe in your premonitions to a certain extent. Because how can I deny what happened with Johnny and with Barry and me? But this one's a ploy. This one's an obvious, miserable ploy to keep me from spending time with your ex-husband.
It isn't! Something awful's gonna happen if you step out that door! Barry!
Missed an episode of Days this week? Well, every Sunday starting at 7, SoapNet gives you one last chance to catch up on the whole week's worth of days before the new week begins. Spend Sunday nights in Salem every Sunday starting at 7 only on SoapNet, the new way to watch soaps.